Welcome to Dysfunctional Adults, the comedy podcast in which we discuss weird news, pop culture, and being middle-aged dads. Yeah. We are bitter, cynical Gen Xers saddled with crippling debt and depressingly past our primes. But that's what makes this podcast so much fun.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
Hey. All right.
So, how's everybody been doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I had a Merry Christmas. How about you guys? Except for Zach didn't get nothing.
Well, so I kind of did. I ended up getting
Nookie
some
doesn't count as a
bowling
present.
shoes. Well, no, that doesn't count either. But
And
unless it's wrapped up.
by yourself isn't really Nookie.
It is
But
if
I
you wrap
wrapped
it
it
up.
myself.
You
I was
untie
like,
the bow and
my
everything.
favorite penis when I opened it.
Yay! It gets smaller every year.
Aw. Measuring up, episode 1, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Call back.
But I did get, Lisa made some comment about getting this certain thing. She took a picture of it as something to do with a beard. And I was like, make sure you don't get me anything because I'm not getting anybody anything. And so she got me some bowling shoes for not Christmas.
Not Christmas.
Yeah.
For the solstice.
For the solstice. Exactly. So that was pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not sweet of her.
Yeah.
So,
But anything officially Christmas? Nothing.
nothing.
Nothing at all, huh?
Sorry, man.
Isn't that sad?
Well, I bought John
Or me.
something, and I want him to talk about it on.
Oh, I was planning to.
Oh boy.
Well, I only always get a couple presents because we get each other expensive stuff. I always get like the same thing every year from my wife. I get the same thing every year from my mom. So I don't really get surprises very often. But I did get a pleasant surprise from Jason this year. And I think it's my favorite
Aw.
present of all. It's up on my mantle above the fireplace right now. Anyway, what he got me was a statue of a garden gnome riding a T-Rex with an American flag, and mounted on the back of the T-Rex is a cat controlling like a mounted crossbow.
That is
It is like the
fantastic.
most awesome statue I've ever seen.
Very patriotic.
Yes.
It is.
It's what America's about.
I sent a picture of it to my sister because she loves that kind of weird stuff. And I said, this is Jason's Christmas present for me. Not only does it represent the 3 basic symbols of Christmas, garden gnomes, dinosaurs, and cats armed with mounted crossbows, but it checks all the boxes of a perfect year-round home decoration. Festive, patriotic, educational, and historically accurate.
Yes.
It's like a history lesson on your mantle.
Absolutely. Dinosaurs, cats, crossbows, gnomes, American flags. I can't think of anything that should have had that it didn't have. It's really got it all.
And when I saw it, I knew that was the statue for you. But I want to point out something. We kind of have this unspoken rule, John and I, that we never bought anything for each other for Christmas or birthdays.
Yeah. I have the same rule with all my siblings.
But he broke that a few years ago, and he got me one of those miniature Super Nintendos when they were like really hard to find.
Yeah.
Which I really wanted one really bad. He like made my Christmas, and so
That's
I
awesome.
had to get him back. And so now I think
You did quite well. And hey, because of the American flag, I can keep this up all the way until the 4th of July, Memorial Day, Labor Day. It really is a year-round decoration.
I want to know what Laura thinks of it, like on an aesthetic level.
She thinks it's funny. I don't know if she's going to really want it up year-round. I've told her in complete seriousness, I am not taking this down. This is staying like the centerpiece of our living room forever.
Nice.
I think she thinks I'm joking, but I'm not.
And wherever your kids have like, wow, those things you get when you do
Presents.
something good, when you get an award for doing a sport.
Oh, yeah.
Trophies,
yeah.
Holy shit. I imagine that when your kids' trophies have a case they have enough trophies that they have a case, you can put that in there too.
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's, part of your family.
Yeah. I'm sure I'm not going to be allowed to keep it above the fireplace mantle in the living room forever, but this is going to have a home somewhere in our house year-round.
I dig it.
Nice.
I dig it.
It is pretty epic.
Well, we got a Christmas present for Zach. John, if you could reach behind Zach's chair, it's in the gray FedEx bag.
You
or
shouldn't have.
UPS bag or whatever bag that is. I didn't wrap it because it came today.
All right. Well, it was meant to be then.
Yeah. So go ahead and.
Feels like I'm gonna wear it.
I will.
Is it made of human skin?
The pictures I want to take, you're gonna wear it.
Oh boy.
It doesn't make quite the same statement that John's gift makes,
but you know me. That's awesome. I gotta check this out.
And I hope you don't have a shirt like it already.
I don't.
Okay, good.
What we have here is a Michael Myers, Halloween Michael Myers. Killing it since 1978. I love it. Thank you very much.
Merry Christmas,
that's
man.
Awesome.
I hope it's not too big. I think it is a little bit big, but they shrink. So.
Oh, that's perfect.
All right, cool.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Merry Christmas.
I got a Christmas present.
Yay.
All right.
So anyway, I just thought it'd be fun to open it on air so everybody knows just how wonderful I am.
Yeah. Oh, Zach, you didn't get anything for Christmas? Well,
I have something for you.
Yeah, my therapist says I have a savior's complex. So
yeah, that's great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Merry
awesome.
Christmas.
Appreciate it. Merry Christmas back.
Well,
What else have you guys been up to?
I saw Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh, how was it?
I did as well.
It's like one of the best movies I've ever seen.
It is super good. I don't know if it's too early for spoilers, or Zach hasn't seen it. So.
I haven't seen it.
I wouldn't.
And I'm pretty excited about it.
It is very, very good.
I went in with high expectations and they were exceeded.
Wow.
So
that's phenomenal.
Really good and emotional and exciting and funny and all the things that a movie should be. So
one of the things that Marvel is good at.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
It's one thing DC does not have on them.
No, they struggle.
Yeah. Yep.
But even like crossovers, DC had that on Marvel for a while. Let me just turn my phone down. Sorry. What was that?
That was my microphone.
Oh,
oh yeah, my microphone.
It sounded like somebody was calling for help or something. So, no, I mean DC used to do crossovers with their TV shows like Supergirl, Flash, and Legends of Tomorrow, and they kind of had that on Marvel, right? I mean, Marvel did the movies, but yeah. So let's just leave it at that. They did a great job crossing stuff over.
Sweet.
And I just finished Hawkeye last night. Wasn't a big fan of it. It's only kind of mediocre, but it has Kingpin in it at the end. He's the bad guy.
Oh,
that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So I kind of don't like the show. But I like Hawkeye. I just don't like the story they got for him.
Is it the same Kingpin from Daredevil?
It is.
Nice.
Yeah. So he's in it, and he's crazy strong. He's
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yes.
That's his name.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of his name.
Yeah.
But that was, and that is a spoiler. But I mean, you need something to get you through those first 3 or 4 episodes.
Sure.
Because it's kind of
A little slow.
I can't stand the girl who he teams up with. Her name's Kate Bishop, and she's just like it's really like cheesy, a lot of it. There is a really funny thing. They make a musical about the Avengers called Rogers the Musical, and it's so stupid. It's about the Battle of New York from the first Avengers movie, and so in the beginning, Hawkeye's seeing it with his kids, and it's just stupid. But it's like all music. Did you knock on my door? Oh, that's my invisible friend.
Ghost? Do you have a ghost here?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Because I had that time that my chair got kicked for no reason.
Well, my stepfather did die in this house, so Tim died here. But
okay.
I don't think we have a ghost. So.
All right.
But anyway,
can I stay the night?
Sure.
Find out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're always welcome to stay over. Anyway, Hawkeye, worth muddling through the first half of it. The second half's actually okay. It's got Yelena in it from Black Widow. She tries to kill Hawkeye because he killed Black Widow.
Yeah.
So it gets okay after you're halfway through it.
Killed Black Widow.
According to her.
Yeah.
But Kate Bishop, the character, super annoying. Just
not a fan. Huh?
It's freaking Ronin. Ronin kicked ass. You know, he killed like the entire underworld during the 5 years, and it's just like they made it into this cutesy let's get home for Christmas kind of.
Aw.
Yeah. Yeah. So Anyway, sorry, I took over.
No, you're fine.
Sorry.
It's all good. We all say what we did. So
Still gonna watch it though.
that's your thing.
Also, The Witcher season 2 is excellent.
Okay.
Sweet.
I've been watching Yellowstone. That's about all I've been watching. That one's kind of addicting.
Yeah.
Enjoyed that one.
Did
People hanging out at the national park with geysers and bison.
Yeah,
Riding
it's
bears.
about all the tourists
Yeah,
all the stupid things that they do. And
So Megan told me we should go to Yellowstone one time. I'm like, oh, that sounds like fun. Then she proceeds to tell me that it's super dangerous. Like there's these tiny paths that go over like these geysers. You know? I'm like, why would anyone do that? Why would you risk being burned alive just to see stupid nature? And dumb,
you can walk outside and see nature, right?
Dumb bears and moose and bears riding moose.
You might catch a glimpse of Yogi, though. Oh, that's Jellystone. Never mind.
I don't think there's a real Jellystone Park, is there?
No.
And also, I'm a little bit into not a believer, but an interested observer of David Paulides' Missing 411. Like it's a conspiracy thing about how the parks people are covering up something supernatural that's causing people to disappear. When I say it out loud, I feel stupid. I don't believe it. I just think it's interesting.
Yeah.
And
all right.
now I'm going to never read anything about it again. Because it sounds dumb.
Yeah, I mean, I'm embarrassed for you that you said it out loud.
You should be.
Well, I've been chatting with Luke a little bit, and he sends me his. So we play words with friends. I always want to call it words against friends because
Like
it's not really. It's not like not because the Cards Against Humanity, but it's like you're fighting against these people with letters.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I play words with friends with him, and apparently he just gets all of these scammers on there all the time, and they chat with him. So he sent me a little snapshot of one that he was having, and this one says, "Hello," and he goes, "Ahoy there, matey." She says, "Don't understand your language. It's nautical landlubber." She's like, "How are you doing today?" "On a trading mission for the king. Just sailed through the Straits of Hormuz with... Hormuz. I don't know how you say that. He's going to make fun of me for that. The Straits of Hormuz with a ship full of chinchillas, hoping to trade for spices at the next stop. How about you, lassie?"
Why is he smuggling chinchillas?
I don't know.
Why aren't you is the real question.
Yeah, that's true.
"Can we chat on Hangouts? My time be taken up by Holland a mizzen mast most days." So
I love Luke.
That's epic.
He's a funny dude.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So that's what
what
my
you've been
weeks
doing.
consisted of.
Nice. Well, you went up to Idaho, right?
I did. Yeah.
Okay, because we did
So?
we did as well. We went to Idaho. We were in Boise though. You were what, Twin Falls?
Yeah, Twin Falls.
So, like,
Okay.
where do the mutants live?
In
Twin
Idaho?
Falls.
In Idaho.
Everywhere.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
That's
don't
what
go to
Idaho ones are. Sorry, honey, love you. My wife's from Idaho.
Wait. You don't confuse the word mutant with inbred.
Oh.
Not applying
I-
to Lara.
Too late. It sounds like it already.
No, I like Idaho. It reminds me of Utah in a lot of ways.
Yeah, like Utah's Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we went up there the weekend before Christmas to visit some of
Idaho
Laura's
sucks
family.
balls, just so you know.
The trip itself was pretty uneventful. We took the kids to the Boise version of that Christmas in Color light show I talked about. So, of course, I had to drop acid to really enjoy the
Yeah.
lights, like the good father I am.
There's
Yeah.
just like 3 bulbs. Everything else is burned out.
Yeah, the Utah one was definitely better. We all went away saying, yeah, the Utah one was better.
Less militiamen,
That's kind of like what Idaho is, though. It's a lot like Utah, but not
as
quite
good.
as good.
It's the truth.
And
it's the truth.
The whole drive up there, like every time we passed a dead deer, I thought of Luke.
I just want to say one thing before you continue your story. Fuck Idaho.
Wow. So edit number 1.
Alrighty then. With all the dead deer we saw, I missed a golden opportunity to traumatize the children because it was like the week before Christmas. we could have been like, oh, kids, I think that one's Blitzen. You pass the next one. Oh, I think that one's Prancer. I don't know, kids. Another couple deer, and I don't know if Santa's going to have enough to pull the sleigh.
Nice. You should have been like, this is because you were naughty.
Oh, look, he's sleeping inside out.
Poor Rudolph.
That's not a red nose. That's blood.
Yeah, I resisted the urge to make comments.
I don't know. It
like
might have
that.
been worth it, man.
Well, you could be like, for every dead deer, this is when you guys don't settle down in the car. This is what happens. Santa kills a deer.
Yep.
Every time you fight, kids, Santa kills a reindeer.
Every time you ask if we're there yet.
Comet gets the axe.
Oh man, that's funny.
So yeah, that was our Christmas time.
Nice.
Yeah, that's great. I don't know if you guys took away that from what I said, but I hate Idaho. Just
Do you have a reason, or is it just
I've been there a couple times, and I just
I've been there. I've been there with you.
Yeah, I know, but
Did it make it any better that John was there, or did you still?
It made it tolerable.
Yeah.
So
I'm not a fan of Idaho either.
Anyway, you can cut that whole part out. No.
No. I will bleep what needs to bleepin', and that's it.
That's what we need. We need a shirt that says F Idaho, and it's got a picture of Idaho on the back, and it's just got the asterisk,
Yeah.
F asterisk CK Idaho.
That's a good one.
But anyway, yeah. This is what Idaho sounds like.
What's the point of making these jingles if I don't use them?
Time for listener mail.
That's a good. I like your segues, Zach. They're really awesome.
Thanks.
All right. So, do you want me to go first?
Sure. Okay. I thought I had one. I don't have one.
I do. Let me find it. It was sent to me actually on Google Hangouts. So this is a true story. This comes from screen name Marin801. And I think he's asking for advice. I'm not sure, but let me tell you the story. So Marin says, my friend, let's call her Ginger, has a 19-year-old daughter. We will call her Becky, who recently moved out to start her adult life. Becky moved in with her girlfriend, and Ginger has been having a hard time with her firstborn leaving the nest for the first time. Becky hasn't said much to Ginger in the last little while, and Ginger had to find out what is going on with Becky's life by stalking her on social media. Ginger is not doing so great with everything she has learned. Becky has shaved her head. She got a dog. Not too terrible. But then suddenly on a whim, without any warning, she leaves for Alabama with her girlfriend the day after Thanksgiving for an unknown amount of time. Because her girlfriend had some family drama she had to go deal with. Becky put her new job, where she makes like $20 an hour, at risk by telling them she needed to go to Alabama for an undetermined amount of time. While in Alabama, Becky got engaged. She didn't even involve Ginger or her family, and Ginger had to learn about the engagement over social media. But that's not the worst of it. Becky comes back from Alabama with a 5-month-old baby. This 19-year-old idiot can barely tie her own shoes, and suddenly she's engaged with a 5-month-old baby involved in all this. The 5-month-old baby is her girlfriend's niece, and her mom is a crackhead who had to go to rehab, and Becky's girlfriend is the only family in a stable relationship who now gets custody of the child. On top of this, Becky has now quit her stable job. So she can be home with her girlfriend and the baby, and her plan to make money now is for her and the girlfriend to be DoorDash delivery idiots. Ginger and Becky are at odds because Becky loves the baby and says the baby is family, but Ginger doesn't want anything to do with the baby simply because she does not know if crackhead mama will get the baby back after finishing rehab. How do you start to be a grandma and then suddenly have your grandbaby taken back by a crackhead? Ginger is having a really hard time wrapping her head around all these new changes Becky has made in her life, and she wants to be supportive of Becky, but this baby curveball has just been too much. Do you have any advice for Ginger to help get her through this with Becky? Sincerely, Marcus, your #1 fat fan. And he says, yes, my friend, this is all true.
Well, for one thing, that totally needed to be read with an Alabama accent.
I did fail in that regard.
And number 2, what episode of what reality television show is this from?
That's what I said. I said, this sounds like Springer.
Yeah.
They thought we were the best people to give advice on this kind of stuff?
Yeah, I guess. Marcus, I guess is Marin's real name. I don't guess, I know. But yeah,
Mistakes are going to be made in life. That's the truth of it. Kids are just going to pull away if you try to tell them what to do.
So keep the baby and call it your grandbaby, even though crackhead mama might come back for it.
Basically.
Yeah. Do you think so, John? What do you think?
Yes. Yes, I do.
I know you were in the exact same situation, like specifically.
Exact same. Alabama and all.
And who's
But more Idaho, because Idaho is the Alabama of the West.
And crackhead is Idaho State militia woman. So, well, if I knew somebody in that situation, I would say get a gun for when crackhead mama returns, and no jury in the world is going to convict you for defending yourself, even if you shot her 18 times in the back while she was running away.
Especially if you do it in Idaho. They don't have laws there.
It's like the Wild West.
Just empty frontier land.
They just have U.S. Marshals roaming on horses. I do believe Marcus is also from Idaho, so I apologize, Marcus, for my earlier sentiments about Idaho.
No, he's not. He's not sorry. Nope.
Anyway, yeah, I have no advice. I don't know that any daytime talk show host would have advice. This is something you probably want to escalate to Dr. Phil, you know?
Or at least Springer. He's still around, right?
I don't think
How's
Springer.
that working for you?
Oh, we have Dr. Phil right here.
Yeah.
We're doing impressions now.
Yeah.
Take it away, Zach.
That was it. That's all I got.
I think Dr. Phil. I love that meme with Kid Rock, who looks. He looks like Dr. Phil tried to look like Kid Rock.
Yeah.
It's like this.
I have not seen that one.
Schrodinger's Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
Kid Rock. But yeah, Marcus, I'm sorry. I have no advice. I just think that you should always be ready for some crackhead to break into your house with a gun. So buy a bigger gun.
This is America. Crackheads are part of our society. Damn it.
As are guns.
I just think that
As is Idaho.
my go-to advice is buy a gun.
Yep.
So
That's your advice for all situations, Jason.
basically.
Yep.
So that's where what I would pass on to your friend Marcus is buy a gun.
Your neighbor look at you funny?
All right.
Buy a gun.
And train the baby on how to use the gun.
You might have to take that advice, Zach, because the next one, the next listener mail I have is kind of calling you out.
Uh-oh.
Mentions you by name.
Okay. Well.
I think you need to have Zach read it.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I need to read it.
It's different than the listener mail we've usually got addressed specifically to him. This one's less flattering. But anyway.
Great.
Here you go.
I'm reading it. All right.
I think you should.
Oh, boy. Here we go. Dear dysfunctional adults, I'm going to get right to the point. I have a bone to pick with Zach. Every word that smug redheaded bastard speaks just oozes with condescension and judgment. He's sitting there week after week on his high horse, acting all high and mighty because he's rolling in whatever obscene amount of dough y'all are pulling in from this podcast. I can just feel the disdain for us common folk in his tone. You think you're better than me, Zach, just because you've been dumped by a girl? Just because you've never been dumped by a girl for calling out Danny Trejo's name during sex?
That's my dad, by the way.
Hot. Because you've never been hospitalized after eating sushi you found under the fridge that had been left in the apartment by the previous tenant God knows how long ago? And I just know you've got some opinions about the fact that I frittered away my son's college fund to pay for my addiction to farm-based sex toys, don't you?
Wait, what?
Or that one time I got herpes from a homeless ginger dwarf in the park. He told me he was a leprechaun and I'd get 3 wishes if I slept with him. It was an honest mistake, damn it. That's it. I'm done with pleasantries. I will fight you, Zach. Meet me in the Home Depot parking lot at dawn. It's time to throw down. Dave. Well, Dave.
First of all, I'd say Dave's made some questionable life choices and he's projecting a bit.
Maybe a little bit.
A little bit.
Second of all, I'd say he doesn't know Zach very well because I know for a fact Zach has done all of these things.
I was just going to say, having been in that position before, I would say, yeah, we should probably fight.
Well, why not inside Home Depot? There's plenty of weapon opportunities there.
Oh, because I might know somebody there.
Outside, all you've got is like those orange flatbed carts to throw at each other. And when I say throw, I mean like psychically. Like I expect you guys to be hanging in the air, surrounded by energy, like tossing like
Like in an anime or something?
Yeah, like tossing cards at each other, smashing up cars.
We're not powerful.
You should be, otherwise this fight's going to be stupid. It's just going to
be really dumb.
It's just going to be like clawing at each other like girls.
He's probably going to sick that ginger dwarf on me, too.
And Dave, we've all thought about machete during the throes of coitus before. It happens.
Yeah, it's actually his woman's fault for being so irrational about having that name called out during sex. She's just being ridiculous.
Look, sometimes
take it as a compliment for a woman to be called Danny Trejo.
Right.
Sometimes you got to think of certain things to cross the finish line. Mm-hmm. Danny Trejo, a box
Whoopi Goldberg.
of oranges,
whatever does it for you.
And those inflatable duck things that you put around your waist.
Yeah. Or Whoopi Goldberg in one of those.
Well, that's going to make me throw up.
Whatever.
She's like 103
you do you.
now, isn't she?
No, she's probably only in her 70s.
Betty White turns 100 in a few weeks, though, just so you know.
Yeah, she's pretty hot still.
Yep.
Good old Betty White.
And she's rich.
If I wasn't married, I'd be like trying to get with her.
Incessantly.
Like,
you gotta hurry. You don't have much time.
Court order against you.
You can't have much time left. If you're gonna hit that, now's your chance.
That's okay. I found my true love.
Is she one of your 5?
Betty White.
Shut up, man. I don't have to talk about that on air. Betty White, Wally.
Cartoon robots, huh?
You'll never meet the cartoon robot.
Well, there's toys that like him, Who says I haven't already done it?
Yeah. Okay,
Wally fleshlights.
I didn't get that scratch for nothing, or stupid thing like clamped down. I had to take the batteries out and then wrench it open with like a. Anyway.
Well, that's embarrassing.
Then there's that flying turtle from Mario Brothers.
Yeah, that's true.
What are you guys looking for?
Koopa.
It's time for a break.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Sorry, because I'm just going to keep going.
Yeah, well, I know.
I got more than 5.
We have to cut you off.
We'll be back.
And then
He's just going to keep going.
Mega Man monster, the Heat Man, Fireman, whatever it was.
He just kept going the entire break.
Yeah.
Each thing he said was weirder
I'm like
and
on
more
27.
more deviant than the last.
It's
just
5, Jason.
I thought this was like confess your weird fetishes night.
Nope. That's
it wasn't.
next week.
That's next week at Coffee Break downtown.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So I'll put that on the back burner for the rest of the episode.
All right.
So, but anyway.
That's all we've got for.
And those mittens that have only like just the
Don't have the fingers?
the thumb and the, but it has to be like a paisley design pattern.
Your fetishes are awfully specific.
Very specific.
All right, sorry. We can proceed. Anyway, yeah. I feel like I've shocked you into silence.
No.
We pretty much expect it from you at this
I
point.
kind of feel like I'm being judged. I really, really do.
I am judging you.
He is judgy from that last listener mail.
That's true.
His judgmentalness was pointed out specifically.
Yeah, I'm pissed off. I'm in a bad mood now. And now it's time for Show and Tell. Hi.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
We're back for Show and Tell.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
We
all
ready?
right.
We ready to do this thing?
All right, let's do this. Who wants to go first?
I don't care. Zach?
I think you should go first, Zach.
4 true crime stories that crank the crazy. Of course, this is Cracked. Alex Hanton wrote it, February 19th, 2021. All right. A fake spy agency almost scammed its way into U.S. intelligence and a $3.7 billion payout. Back in 2012, rumors began to circulate through the murky world of American espionage. They involved a secret new CIA project called Alpha 214, which was supposedly carrying out shadowy special operations around the world. Before long, major defense contractors began to be approached by representatives of the program with an intriguing proposal. To carry out their missions, Alpha 214 agents needed cover jobs with legitimate private companies. Obviously, the CIA couldn't create a paper trail by directly paying the company for this. However, if they would agree to put Alpha 214 and Alpha 214 agent on the payroll at $10,000 a month, the government would reward them by quietly granting them priority status when bidding for lucrative contracts. Over a dozen companies jumped at the opportunity, which was unfortunate because 214 was actually a fake operation run by former TMZ reporter named Garrison Courtney. After leaving TMZ, Courtney found himself in a bit of a loose end. So he started pretending to be a CIA spy, introducing himself as a former Special Forces operator with hundreds of kills under his belt. He regaled contacts with stories of daring intrigue, like the time enemy agents slipped ricin into his food. In reality, Courtney was never even in the military, and his only previous government service was a stint as a media guy for the DEA. But his act was apparently so convincing that multiple companies agreed to give him a lucrative no-show job as cover for his CIA work. Before long, he was raking in millions and enjoying a life of luxury in Washington. And then things started to get crazy. Garrison Courtney got so good at pretending to be a spy that he started to fool the government itself. Many of the defense contractors Courtney was scamming were retired military officers or intelligence agents. And naturally, they started introducing him to their friends who still worked for the government. Before long, everyone was convinced that Alpha 214 was real. Courtney even started recruiting actual intelligence officials to assist with the program. The National Geospatial Intelligence Agency let him use their high-security conference rooms for meetings, while the officer of the Director of National Intelligence was happy to vouch for him. And when his employers started asking for the lucrative government contracts they had been promised, Courtney simply informed the National Institutes of Health that the CIA had chosen them to funnel payments to Alpha 214 participants. The NIH was on the verge of granting $3.7 billion in classified contracts to Courtney's employers when the FBI swooped in. The feds had been tipped off by a former associate of Courtney, but their investigation quickly ran into trouble since most of the victims still believed that Alpha 214 was a top secret CIA program and that they were forbidden from discussing it. Meanwhile, Courtney had his contacts in the intelligence agencies lean on the FBI to drop the investigation. One official even threatened to have the agents arrested. He also came very close to getting an official security classification for Alpha 214, which would effectively have immunized him from prosecution. Fortunately, he was arrested before this could happen and is currently serving 7 years in a hopefully real prison. According to Courtney himself, so many people believed in it and were determined for the program to succeed. It seemed to me like the program was actually on the verge of becoming real or legitimate. Bear in mind, this wasn't an incredibly well-planned scam. Courtney was literally using his real name and just making up details as he went. But it turns out the American intelligence community is so confusing that even the people running it can't tell what's real and what's fake anymore.
Well, that really undermines my confidence. Not that I had much left in the government, but...
Agreed.
And for those people who think there's conspiracies with the CIA, they just need to read the story and realize that everybody in the government with power is too incompetent.
They're all making it up as they go.
There's no way they could do a conspiracy if they can't even tell if this...
Yep.
But that was a brilliant scam, and I'm kind of sad that he didn't make it to that clearance.
I know. I kind of want him to win at this point, or wanted him to get the $3.7 billion and everything.
And this would have made an awesome show starring Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, absolutely. But only if he made it.
Yeah, only if he made it.
Because Ryan Reynolds does not lose.
No, he doesn't.
He'll never lose my heart.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah. All right, we got another one here. Pirate radio, screaming Lord Sutch, German mercenaries, and Britain's most shocking shotgun murder.
This sounds interesting.
During World War II, the British built dozens of sea forts rising out of the ocean on concrete legs to ward off the Nazi menace. One of the most formidable was Shivering Sands, a network of forts guarding the mouth of the Thames. Even Shivering Sands had its weaknesses, which were exploited by a hand-picked strike force led by an eccentric major and a mysterious woman in black who stormed aboard and forced the occupants to surrender. It was actually a perfectly planned attack with the minor caveat that it took place in 1966 as part of a dispute over an illegal radio station. In the 1960s, the BBC had an official monopoly on UK radio, even though most of their programming was just the Queen Mother whistling patriotic songs. Naturally, rock-loving music fans quickly set up illegal pirate radio stations. Since many of the sea forts were just outside of British waters, they were technically beyond the law, making them the perfect spot for broadcasting forbidden tunes to the mainland.
Forbidden tunes, huh?
Yep. Shivering Sands was initially occupied by Screaming Lord Sutch, who had become well known in the UK after standing for Parliament as founder of the Monster Raving Loony Party. Radio Sutch was later sold to a businessman named Reg Calvert, who rebranded the Shivering Sands as a slightly more cheerful Radio City. Meanwhile, the Sea Fort pirate radio scene was taking a weird turn. A fort called Knock John was home to the Bates family, who decided to upgrade by attacking and conquering the rival Ruff's Tower, which they declared an independent country as the Principality of Sealand.
They're conquering a radio tower?
Yeah.
And declaring it a country.
It's the Principality of Sealand.
Sealand itself was later stormed by a group of German mercenaries, but they were repelled by the ruling Prince Roy Bates, who jumped onto the fort from a helicopter wielding a sawed-off shotgun. Meanwhile, Shivering Sands was under pressure from a retired major named Oliver Smedley, who claimed to own the station's transmitter. In 1966, Smedley attacked the fort with a group of armed longshoremen, seizing control of Radio City.
This needs to be made into a movie.
I think so.
For real. And that's where the story took a tragic turn. Enraged by the loss of Radio City, Reg Calvert tried calling the police, but they refused to intervene, noting that the pirate radio station had been set up on a sea fort precisely because it was outside their jurisdiction. Instead, he drove to the Smedley's house and somehow got into a wrestling match with his housekeeper, who was guarding the door. At which point, Smedley produced a gun and shot him dead, which is a truly sad outcome to a dispute over the right to broadcast songs like Nut Rocker by B. Bumble and The Stingers to British teens. Smedley was acquitted on self-defense grounds, but the death did help prompt the UK government to shut down the pirate radio stations. Ironically, it was then discovered that Shivering Sands had been in UK waters all along. And that's why you pay attention in geography class, kids. Oh, man.
Wow, pirate radio stations.
A war.
Broadcasting forbidden songs.
A war. A real bloodshed happened.
Yeah, taking over each other's... They're storming like radio stations.
And calling
towers.
like
renaming radio towers
yeah.
as countries.
Stupid. All right. A guy fell out of a plane's wheel well and went on to become the world's greatest hotel thief. Back in the early 2000s, the world's fanciest hotels were hit by a wave of daring thefts. The culprit was a con man so good that he might as well have been an actual shapeshifter. At one point, he impersonated a wealthy guest to attain access to a penthouse suite, only for the actual guest to walk in while he was robbing the place. Most people would panic and start trying to flush themselves down the toilet in that situation, but the thief didn't even bat an eye. He simply introduced himself as an undercover hotel employee, performing a quiet security check following a threat. The guy apologized so smoothly for the disruption that the guests were completely fooled and just let him leave. On his way out, he even stopped in the lobby and sent them up a bottle of champagne, charged it to their own account at the hotel. A typical theft occurred at the Four Seasons Hotel in Vegas, where the thief hung around the lobby drinking coffee until he identified a wealthy guest named Daniel Gold. He then walked up to the front desk, introduced himself as Gold, and asked for a new room key to replace a lost one. The thief then let himself into the suite where he heard Gold's nanny and kids in one of the rooms. So he just hid and called the room impersonating Gold, asking the nanny to bring his children downstairs. Bear in mind, he had never met Gold, just briefly eavesdropped on him in a hotel lobby. And his impersonation was so perfect that the nanny was completely fooled and hustled out with the kids. The thief then called down to reception, explaining that he couldn't get his room safe to work. They helpfully sent someone up to open it for him, allowing the fake Gold to walk away with $200,000 in real gold and jewelry.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
With duchesses screaming, "My diamonds!" in every hotel lobby from Monaco to Vail, the cops became determined to take the thief down. But who was this mysterious chameleon?
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I know, right? That's what I was thinking.
He can play all these parts.
He can do anything, you guys. And where did he come from? Well, after a long investigation, they finally found the answer. His name was Juan Guzman Betancourt, and he literally fell out of the sky. Specifically, he fell from the wheel well of a Colombian cargo plane landing at Miami International Airport in 1993. This was a nearly miraculous story, since the sub-zero temperatures in the wheel well should absolutely have been lethal. He was actually declared dead on the runway, but quickly made a full recovery and introduced himself as a 13-year-old orphan named Guillermo Rosales fleeing extreme poverty in Cali. The story made Rosales a minor celebrity, although his new foster family noticed some troubling behavior, including a tendency to disappear and reappear without explanation. A trip to a hotel pool ended badly when the kid was found with $200 and a gold chain stolen from other guests. Meanwhile, news arrived from Colombia that Rosales was really Guzman Betancourt, a 17-year-old with a living, fairly middle-class family. He was quickly deported, but soon vanished again to begin his life of high-class crime. So how was this criminal mastermind finally taken down? It might be the weirdest part of this whole story. A Scotland Yard detective had unraveled Guzman's life story while investigating a series of heists at London's fanciest hotels. But the thief had vanished like a ghost after each crime, until one day when the detective ran out to the supermarket and literally walked right into Guzman, who was reaching out to buy an apple wearing the same luxury watch he'd swiped from the hotel weeks before. Seriously, after a global investigation and countless police hours, a complete coincidence took him down. We guess he used up all of his luck in the wheel well of that plane.
Yeah, it sounds like it. That's a pretty incredible story, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go.
All right.
I'll bridge us because, like I said, John has a good way of ending our show and tell. But that was awesome. That was really funny. I like the possible Ryan Reynolds movies you keep
No, right?
feeding us. So this is kind of random, but I found the 30 most ridiculous comic book characters ever,
Nice.
and it's on Ranker, and it's from October 11, 2019. It's hard to do this and stay in the microphone. Isn't
It is.
It says, for every Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, or Wolverine, there's a Robin and a Sentry and a Hawkeye, and those guys are also great. But for every Hawkeye, there's also an Aqualad or Shudder Matter Eater. Those heroes and villains are so lame they rarely last an issue. Those ideas we can't believe got past the idea stage, but much less past the drawing board and into our comics. Some of these characters even became cult favorites somehow. Looking at you, Maggot and Batmite. These are the 31 comic characters no one takes seriously. I'm not going to read all 31, but I am going to read some of the best ones. But number 1 is Dog Welder. Dog Welder welds dogs to people's faces. That's right, dogs. He punishes criminals by welding a dog to their face.
Is this like DC or Marvel or it doesn't say?
It spans the gamut.
Okay.
So, this one is Arm Fall Off Boy. Arm Fall Off Boy has the amazing ability to detach his arms to use as weapons. I think we actually saw that guy in Suicide Squad.
He was, but he
Yeah.
didn't have a name that stupid.
No. Then there's I, like EYE, Scream.
What, say it again?
I Scream.
Oh, nice.
Say his name out loud. Ice cream can turn into any flavor of ice cream and is assisted by an unstable molecule refrigeration system.
Oh, no.
And that's a useful power. How?
It's a power. That's all that matters. Then there's Hindsight Lad. Yet another lad. I guess there's a bunch of lads. And his power is to say, I told you so, and that's it. That's what he looks like.
We could have come up with any one of these when we were like 9.
Yep.
Let's see. Matter Eater Lad. This guy can eat anything. That's it. Matter Eater Lad.
Oh, it's just like chewing on a metal gate. This is what happens when like Stan Lee lets his grandkids come up with superheroes.
Right. And then there's Asbestos Lady. Asbestos Lady made the suit to be immune to the Human Torch, the original 40s one. Keep in mind, this was before we knew how bad this stuff was.
Later on, she became the
Mesothelioma
mesothelioma maiden.
Yeah.
See? You can come up with some just as good right off the top of your head.
Then there's Maggot. And Maggot's powers are even stranger. They are gross. He has two external sentient maggots that act as his digestive system.
So he's a normal guy, but his digests his food with living maggots inside his stomach.
I don't think they're inside his stomach.
Oh.
This one's kind of... And there's a movie coming out about this with The Rock, and it's The Legion of Super Pets.
Oh, yeah,
It's a bunch of different pets, basically superpowers and hyperintelligence.
I saw the preview for that, and it doesn't look half bad.
It actually looks kind of funny.
A cartoon,
yeah.
though, too. So
Then there's the Fiddler.
No.
like the Riddler, but with a fiddle.
Right, and it's a DC comic. This guy who channels his magical powers through his violin.
Bryce plays the violin.
Yep. Then there's Dazzler from the X-Men. Her powers, it says, are basically Christina Aguilera with a built-in light show. The louder she sings, the brighter the lights.
That's stupid.
It is kind of stupid. I don't know. Dog welder seems kind of awesome, though.
Penny.
I'd watch a movie about that.
Just welds dogs.
Weld your dog over your face. So does he like carry around a bag of dogs? Just, when he stops at bank heist, just pins them all down, welds a dog to each of their faces?
He must. So that's actually all I'm going to read for tonight because the list cuts off. But yeah, I mean, what are some crazy, stupid superheroes you can think of or villains?
Well, if you watch like the Lego Batman movie, Joker rattles off a whole bunch of them that were actual Batman villains.
Oh, really?
Did you ever see the Lego Batman movie?
Once.
Like there was the Condiment King. He literally has like ketchup and mustard things that he squirts at people.
Yeah, I think I've encountered that guy.
Yeah. I don't remember them all, but there was, if you watch the Lego Batman movie, there's a lot of really stupid ones that are in it.
Do you know who plays the Joker in that?
It's Zach Galifianakis,
Yep.
yeah.
Oh, nice.
So you're evil twin.
But yeah, he kind of talks to the audience. He's like, those are all real villains. Look it up. He's like, it's worth a Google.
Well, I guess you kind of do run out of ideas. I know that me and one of my companions on our mission, you know, as a missionary, you're basically walking around knocking on doors all day, so we get really bored. And back in North Carolina, the trees have metal skirts, like of aluminum around the trunks.
To keep beavers out?
Squirrels, actually, so the squirrels
Okay.
don't climb the trees. So we're like, hey, those look like cybernetic trees. Like that should be like the next incarnation of Transformers.
Ooh.
So we were coming up with names like Optimus Pine.
Oh, no.
Nice.
Since it was so long ago, that's like the only one I can remember. But
That's great.
so I'm thinking like the drawing, the idea room kind of probably works out of boredom or marijuana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How ridiculous can we make these and still sell a comic book?
Well, to be fair, most of those were from like the 50s and the 40s.
Yeah.
So the standards for like
A little different.
a little different.
Superheroes were kind of a new thing back then.
Yeah.
So.
But man, dog welder. That's what I'm going to be next Halloween.
It's like, who are you? I'm Dog Welder.
There's just like Velcro stuffed dog to someone's face.
Well, let's go to the pound. Go to the pound, adopt like 30 dogs.
I'm just wondering how the dogs survive the welding process.
Right.
Or do they not?
Doesn't say they
And what
do.
parts are welded to what? And
He welds like a dog's ass to each person's face.
Beware, evildoers. So that's what I got for tonight.
Nice.
all right.
Guess it's up to me, huh?
It is up to you.
Bring us home, baby.
Okay, well, if you remember a while back, I did unintentionally funny and dirty sports headlines.
Yeah.
Here's some more unintentionally funny headlines. These aren't sports ones. These are just general news headlines. Some of them are unintentionally dirty. Others, just people did not think how they sound, and they just sound idiotic and stupid. But they're funny. Forecasters call for weather on Monday. Okay. Miracle cure kills fifth patient. They've got a different definition of cure than I do.
It does probably end the disease, though, right?
Yeah.
See, here's a guy that was on trial for killing a lawyer, and I guess his current lawyer quit. So the headline says, "Man accused of killing lawyer receives a new attorney." Praising people.
Need a comma there, I guess.
State population to double by 2040. Babies to blame. Well,
Those damn babies.
Babies.
that's what does it. Here's one from the Outdoors Outpost. Breathing oxygen linked to staying alive.
Oh,
That's
wow.
a groundbreaking scientific discovery. Bridge closure date, Thursday or October. All right. I think they missed something there. It's one or the other. It's either this Thursday or next October. There's no in between. Most earthquake damage is caused by shaking.
No.
Kind of what an earthquake is, right? Federal agents raid gun shop, find weapons.
Oh, surprise.
Safety meeting ends in accident. Murderer says detective ruined his reputation. Not the whole murder thing.
No.
Oh, here's a local one.
Sorry.
The hell was that?
That was my phone by accident. So
Here's a local one. Utah Poison Control Center reminds everyone not to take poison.
Oh, thank you.
And give us
It's the
one.
only reason I've made it to 2022.
Give us one good reason and we'll consider it. Bugs flying around with wings are flying bugs. The comment here says, whatever that entomologist paid for his education was too much.
Yeah.
Students cook and serve grandparents.
Aw. That was really kind.
Senior citizen cannibalism.
Soylent Green.
delicious.
It's people.
Here's one about a physician shortage at the hospital. It says, hospitals resort to hiring doctors. Who are they hiring before? Like contractors? Or
Yes, I don't know.
Voter-
Dog welder.
Migrant
Dog welders.
workers.
Voters to vote on whether to vote.
Oh, boy.
That sounds like democracy in action.
Yep.
Museums full of history. Yeah?
Huh?
That's
How it works.
News.
woman missing since she got lost. Yep. Death may ease tension.
I have always felt way more relaxed when I'm dead.
Yeah, me too. It's only when they bring you back that things get messy.
Yep.
Stressful.
City council runs out of time to discuss shorter meetings. Planning people. Here's a breakthrough discovery. Sadness may be a sign of depression.
What?
Fish need water, feds say. Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a breakthrough in science.
Mayor Parrish to homeless. Go home.
Aw.
If only.
Now we know how John really feels about the homeless.
I've seen this one before, but I always like this one. Homicide victims rarely talk to police. I'm more worried about when they do.
Yeah, that's
That's when we have the apocalypse on our hands, you guys.
that's the guy who shot and killed me right there.
That's what he thinks he's saying, but it's coming out.
Brains.
Here's one from the late 90s when Princess Diana died. It says, Diana was still alive hours before she died.
Oh, my hell.
Yeah. Masturbator yanked from library.
I bet.
Condom truck tips, spills load.
Wow.
That was intentional.
Yes, it was.
Gotta be. Study shows frequent sex enhances pregnancy chances.
No way.
And similar, studies show teen pregnancy drops off significantly after age 25.
Wait.
The math isn't even right.
That sounds like statutory rape. That doesn't sound like
Yeah.
gross.
Ugh.
Here's one about a British girls' boarding school talking about why they're no longer super popular. And the headmistress, the principal is called a headmistress in Britain, or a head for short. And so she says that the girls' schools still offer something special that the co-ed schools don't. But the headline says, girls' schools still offering something special, -head.
Yeah, I saw that movie.
Here's a similar one where a student's dad got the head job. It says, student excited, dad got head job.
Neat.
Well, yeah, you got to be happy for your father for that. Here's one where a councilman is talking about gender bias and thinks that gender sensitivity training is required. Problem is, her name is Laura Chick, so the headline says, Chick accuses some of her male colleagues of sexism.
I think that was intentional, too.
That's hilarious.
Somebody's a smart ass.
Yeah.
That's her name. This headline says, we hate math, say 4 in 10, a majority of Americans. Do the math. Yes, they hate math, apparently. This one's got to be intentional. Marijuana issue sent to a joint committee. Here's one about some military submarines we were looking for in China. China may be using sea to hide its submarines.
No way.
Where else would they hide them? Do you think they're in the sky tied to balloons
They
or
could be in the
something?
desert under the sand.
I suppose so. World Bank says poor need more money. I'm sure they would agree.
Yep.
One-armed man applauds the kindness of strangers.
That's just rude.
Oh, if only he could. Yes, this is a guy who was busted for a lot of different charges. It just says, man arrested for everything. Poor guy. Everything.
I hope he's not guilty of everything.
Bridges help people cross rivers. It's easier with a bridge than without, I suppose.
It reminds me of that episode of The Simpsons where Flanders kids have a printing press, like a toy printing press.
Oh, yeah.
And Bart and Lisa have to stay there because they get taken away, and they're playing this game. And hot off the presses is something like friendship is good, or I can't remember what it was. It was something really dumb.
Lame, yeah.
Yeah, so.
I like this one because it's supposed to say Mississippi's literacy program shows improvement, but they misspelled Mississippi.
Awesome.
So it says Mississippi's literacy program shows improvement. That's the improvement. You should have seen how bad they spelled before.
They spelled it with a 9 before.
Northfield plans to plan strategic plan.
That sounds like democracy.
Yep.
Rooms with broken air conditioners are hot.
Thank you.
HAWT?
I mean,
For the record, I opened the door. I hope you guys noticed because it was like hot as balls in here.
Hot.
So,
Speaking of balls.
my balls are still hot though.
well, just take your pants off.
All right.
Speaking of balls, here's a political one. It's from back in 2009. Remember the recession in 2009?
Yeah.
I guess President Obama was offering some kind of stimulus package, and the Republicans thought it was too large and wasn't going to work. So
I can see where this is going.
headline says, Republicans turned off by the size of Obama's package. Well, yeah, that thing was huge.
Well, according to Joe Biden, it was. He said something like that. He said Obama had a big stick. He really did.
Oh boy.
Let's go, Brandon. No, just kidding. You can believe that if you want.
Greenland meteorite may be from space. Not sure where else it would come from, but okay.
The sea.
Survey finds fewer deer after hunt.
Oh, huh.
All right.
Are they surveying the deer or the hunters?
Barbershop singers bring joy to school for deaf. Do they?
Did anybody ask the kids?
I hope they can juggle too, because, you know.
It seems like almost taunting them. You're bringing like singers to perform for a school of the deaf.
All the kids are crying.
I like this one because it seems so spiteful. It says, homeless survive winter. Now what? It's like they're disappointed. It's like, damn, we're hoping it would kill them all off.
I wasn't planning on surviving the winter.
Scientists to kill ducks to see why they're dying.
What? Aw.
Because they're killing them?
So sad.
Yellow.
I think I just burped at Zach. I'm sorry, Zach.
Didn't even notice.
That's why you backed away from me.
Oh,
It was Mo Betta's, so, you know, enjoy.
Ooh, it's a good tasting burp.
no, my back just hurts from leaning over.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Yellow object spotted in sky. Called the sun, dumbasses.
It's there every day.
It's always been there.
But it's news.
Was bank robber a he or a she? Breasts might be a clue.
Not always,
That's
because
true, not
I'm
anymore.
rocking a
They could be
serious
movies.
set of bees over here.
I got a nice rack.
Yeah.
Movies. Man found dead in graveyard. If you're going to find the body, that's probably where you want them to be. Let's see if there's a couple more.
I keep finding dead hookers in my bathtub.
That's a little
That's weird. I
different.
keep finding them in my trunk.
Yeah, weird, huh?
Yeah.
I don't think that's a coincidence.
Where do your hookers go to die, John?
Not asking if there are any. You're assuming that there is and just asking where they go.
Yeah, I am.
I'll tell you after the show.
Okay.
This is talking about high-end businesses going out of business. I think this is in New York. It's talking about the Saks Fifth Avenue closing down and then a Dick's Sporting Goods opening in its place. Headline says, Dick's in, Saks out. Someone has to be reading
that was on
this.
purpose.
And the last one is about, remember 15 years ago, Anthony Weiner? He was
In trouble.
in trouble for sending...
Enticing a minor.
Yeah. The headline in the New York Post just said, Wieners rise and fall.
Again.
Someone had to notice that one. So, yeah, that's what I got. Unintentionally funny headlines.
Very good.
What do you think, Zach? One more of yours or no?
No, we're good.
We're good?
Yep, good on time.
All righty.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Dysfunctional Adults is brought to you by Stick 'em. You have nowhere to put it, just stick it in there.